On episode 22 of the podcast, we take a look at the movie Mission Impossible Fallout, written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie, starring Tom Cruise, Henry Cavill, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Sean Harris, and Angela Bassett. Welcome to He Said, She Said Movie Reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April. Will you fall out of your seat with Mission Impossible Fallout? We'll talk about it in a few minutes after the trailers.
So the first trailer we saw with this movie was a movie called Overlord. This starts out looking like it's another Saving Private Ryan. It takes place during D-Day. The movie looks phenomenal. Special effects look great. But this movie turns quickly into a horror movie where the American soldiers end up dealing with the outcome of Nazi experiments. So it looks really intense.
The next is Alita, Battle Angel. This was written by James Cameron, an action-packed story of one young woman's journey to discover the truth of who she is and her fight to change the world. It looks fantastic.
Another eye candy movie.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
The movie we saw this week was Mission Impossible Fallout. This takes place right after the last, or basically 2 years after the last movie, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and it's all about Ethan Hunt and his team once again going on an impossible mission to save the world. It was written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie. He also brought you, as a director, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Jack Reacher, and The Way of the Gun. And the interesting thing is it seems like he has a love affair with Tom Cruise because he wrote, well, besides The Usual Suspects, which is one of my favorite movies, he wrote Valkyrie with Tom Cruise, Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise, Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, The Mummy,
right.
With whom? Tom Cruise.
They're a good team.
Yeah, so it's an interesting movie. And this stars, the usual IMF team. Tom Cruise, Henry Cavill, Superman was in this movie, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Sean Harris, and Angela Bassett. So
it was the cast was strong in this movie as well.
Since if you're longtime listeners, well, the podcast hasn't been around long enough really to have longtime listeners, but y'all know what April's big beef is long movies.
And I will tell you, this movie had a lot of twists and turns, which that's kind of the best part, because I'll tell you way in advance here that the last 45 minutes will keep you on your seat. But I will tell you a very, very long movie. It was almost a little much. I mean, I asked, our daughter was there as one of her oldest friends. He too felt like it was a little over the top.
Yeah, the movie almost needs an intermission. It's that long. So.
Yes, very true. But the theme of this movie, of course, is don't trust anyone.
If you're a longtime follower of the Mission Impossible series and all the way going back to the TV series, you know what you're getting with this. This is a movie with trying to save the world with a whole bunch of misdirection involved. And I think this is one of those movies where, because we go to see the movies a lot, we see a lot of trailers, and we must have seen the trailer for this movie at least 20 times.
Yes. I have to say I'm glad this movie is now released, because we're not going to have to sit through the same trailer over and over again.
But for us, there was a little bit, going back to the thing about the misdirection, there's even misdirection in the trailer. They teased us in the trailer with something that actually never happened in the movie. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you haven't seen the movie and you go see it, you'll know.
Yeah, and I just want to say that is one of my second and third big pet peeves is when I see something in a trailer and it's not in the movie. I do not respect that at all.
I'll tell you one thing that they did with this movie that really I thought was strange and almost irritating. during the opening credits scene, they showed you what was going to happen in the movie. There was a bunch of quick cut action shots of scenes coming up in the movie. And I've never seen that done in a movie.
I don't like that either.
I found that kind of like, oh, you're going to spoil your own movie before it even starts. So that one was weird. The acting in this movie, well, it was okay. It was good. You know, Tom Cruise never plays anybody but Tom Cruise. He's not a character actor.
Right. I want to say before I forget, though, Rebecca Ferguson, who played Elsa, she was a kick-butt, strong female character. I really did. I enjoyed watching her. I thought she did a great job. And Angela Bassett, as always. I felt like some of this was, at times, it was overacted.
Yeah, one of the things I did like about the acting in this version of Mission Impossible, Simon Pegg's character, he's kind of been the comic relief in the movie up to this point in the other Mission Impossible movies. I thought they toned that down a little bit and made him a little bit more of a serious character finally, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I thought the score was great in this movie, of course. You know, who doesn't love the Mission Impossible theme? That always gets you going and up and moving. And I thought the sound editing in this movie was phenomenal.
Yes, I would agree with that. And the cinematography. I mean, beautifully shot, majestic scenery, and the lighting. Whoever did the lighting in this did a phenomenal job. Yeah,
because a lot of times you get indoor scenes that are completely dark and you have a hard time seeing what's going on. No problem with that. Even the Halo dive towards the beginning of the movie was supposed to be done at night, and it was lit up enough that you could see what was going on. There was a lot of things. One of the things about a Mission Impossible movie, if you're seeing them for the first time, you might go, what the heck? But if it's a lot of, you really have to suspend your belief when you go into this movie because it's one of these things where you think everything's going wrong and how could this possibly happen? And then all the pieces of the puzzle line up at the very end and snap into place and voila, the world is saved. So, and there's a lot of crazy things like helicopter chases and motorcycle chases, though the motorcycle chase in the movie was pretty cool. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I also did. I thought that was fantastic. And I liked a lot of the other scenes. I don't want to give them away, but clever, very clever.
Yeah, it was too. And I thought that the stunts, all the stunts. One of the nice things about this movie is Tom Cruise does all of his own stunts. So if you see Tom Cruise jumping around on buildings, as a matter of fact, he broke his ankle filming this movie, doing one of the stunts, but hanging from helicopters and all those other things, he's doing those. So hats off to Tom for that.
I thought the dialogue fit the story, Tim.
Yeah, it did. I have no complaints with the writing on this movie. Like I said, you have to suspend belief to get through it, but that's okay. You know that going in.
Right. So I'm glad that we got to see the movie. I would give it, I mean, so much went into this movie. I know that. Money, filming, and it was so anticipated. Because of the twist and the turn in the last 45 minutes, I feel like I've got to give it a 3.
Yeah. For me, it's a 3.5. Like I said at the start of this, I was a big fan of the series as a kid with Peter Graves. Always loved Mission Impossible. I've seen all the movies. I enjoyed this one. It kept me entertained. It suspended my belief. I wasn't thinking about other stuff. I was watching the movie. It was a little slow in the middle. There were some slow paces in the middle. But other than that, it was a fun ride. That's really what it was. It was a fun ride, summer movie. It's not an Academy Award winning movie. They might be recognized by the Academy for special effects and stuff like that. But other than that, fun summer movie.
But you made a great point of the summer movie. That's what several of the people coming out of the movie were saying. It's perfect. It was perfect. It's hot outside, hot in the theater. I mean, that's the timing. I think when they released this movie was perfect.
But make sure you pack a bag of snacks for the movie because you're going to be in there for a long time and you might have to take a potty bag.
Absolutely. A potty break, you mean?
Yeah,
okay.
That too.
Okay. Well, y'all, we will see you at the movies. We'll look forward to it. And I also want to let you know we appreciate hearing from you. Many, many of you have reached out and asked, like the soccer movies, if we're going to do the same for football with fall. And yes, we are.
And if you haven't already done so, please go out to hesaidshesaiedmovies.com/subscribe and subscribe to the podcast. It's absolutely free. It won't cost you a thing, and it doesn't cost you a thing to listen to the podcast either.
And we will be in touch soon. We've had some wonderful, exciting things happen, from sponsorship to y'all's request of live movie podcasts. So we're kind of excited. We're going to be traveling soon and be able to provide our first one.
That's true. Big news coming up here real soon.
Thank you, and we'll see you at the movies.
See you at the movies.